I'm damn sleepy and I'm late. Majority of my days I'm extremely sleepy simply because of one main reason. That is work. Every day I wake up at 5 in the morning, get ready, head all the way to Whitefield, and then work there. When I come back, it's 8 o'clock and I'm totally exhausted. By the time I go to bed, it's 11 pm or sometimes 12 am. So I get roughly around 6 to 5 hours of sleep, which I personally think is not enough for me. Apart from this personal rant of mine, it's going to be a very interesting year because today we are going to the Under 25 Summit. For those of you who do not know what the Under 25 Summit is all about, it is a place where people who made it big in their life, be it content creators, directors, photograph enthusiasts, and so on, will be present at the event. It's more like a carnival of sorts and a place where you can actually interact with them and get to know their side of the story of how they made it big. Or at least that's what I know. This is my first time as well. Before going there, I need to get myself dressed properly. Stay. Ta-da! Let's go.
So let's start by knowing each other first.
Professor's introduction.
Okay, so we'll start. I'm Aditya. Radha was amazing.
Really happy seeing you guys here.
I'm a grumbling engineering student slash aspiring motivational speaker.
1 year ago, I went to the first meetup and it was actually one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's very interesting how you guys just came up and started your own thing.
We are a community called S-Series. So their motto is to, make people come out of their comfort zone. What do you say? Get rid of their fears, face their fears and come out of their comfort zone and achieve their goals. There were a lot of strangers and just within a fraction of a second, everyone became close friends, right?
Okay, but we're gonna welcome you to the group by giving you something really uncomfortable to do it. So you're gonna pick the check from the box. After that, you're gonna go walk to a stranger, get him or get her into it. Let's go for it!
What's the humming song? That was...
Maybe they're having a staring contest.
Good team, good team.
3,
2, 1,
Go! Come on, guys. It's windy.
At this point of time, my friend Rahil arrived at the scene and I had to briefly part ways with the Yes fam to go catch up with him. And we first had lunch and then immediately went over to the main auditorium to check out this amazing singer and violinist Kavya Ajit. She was actually playing this main theme song from the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. You know what? The entire session just felt like 2 minutes. If Einstein had to explain his theory of relativity to a fresh audience, I think this would be a killer place to try that out just because of how fast this entire session went. Anyways, another friend arrived at the scene and we went on to explore the stalls around Jai Mahal Palace and check it out. We are playing this weird game. Human pool. Okay, Shreyas. Yes, Shreyas is doing some grown-up shit. Yeah, go on. Excuse me. Okay, okay. Alright, the professor, this guy is discussing something really private. I have no idea what it is about. Let's find out. Hey, professor, ye no secret.
Where's my cap?
That was your secret.
No, where's my cap there?
No. Secret.
No, where's my cap there?
No. 3, 2, 1, start.
The only laptop that works on Android. 100 GB of Google Drive space with unlimited photo space. Say goodbye to back pains as it is light as a feather.
HP co-create.
These are the creators for today. Must be love on the planet. Thank you. Thank you, Trina, for that wonderful, wonderful performance. This is Camp Tinder and this was Day-1.
Event I had attended. It was interesting because one by one the building uncles kept coming up to me and telling me to buck up. Now, as you know, I stopped being a mainstream journalist a few months ago. Around the time that mainstream journalism failed to report the truth about Kashmir, around the time that mainstream media failed to ask the right questions about unemployment and farmer suicides, around the time that mainstream media failed to hold the government accountable for what it was doing, coincidentally around that time, I stopped being a mainstream journalist. The uncles normally start by asking me, "So beta, what are you doing now?" And when I start to tell them that I'm in the process of launching a startup news organization that will deliver honest journalism, they rarely wait for the answer and they go, "How sad, no?" Then they tell me to buck up. And then they say that we are with you. One uncle turned around and told me, "I love your videos, yeah. So bold, so frank. I always watch them. I don't forward them." "Why don't you forward them, uncle?" "I'm scared, yeah." You know how it is. Scared of what? You know, we have families. Can't forward. I asked him, "How are you with me exactly?" And he said, "In spirit. We are with you in spirit." At that point, I wanted to ask him two questions. Who is we? And what good is your spirit to me if you're not even going to forward a video? But I've been trained over the years by family members not to engage in this sort of garden variety political debate with random uncles because it normally ends in tears. Theirs, not mine. But my inside voice is saying, "You are a afraid to forward a video. Can you hear yourself? Does this sound normal to you? Is this what a citizen of a democratic free country should be feeling? Biggest male names in Bollywood are conspicuous right now in their silence and their absence. Of course, they have these large budget films resting on their buff shoulders, so they can't take the risk, so they have left it for the women to do. And since the men get paid so much more than the women, they have so much more to lose. Corporate India is completely silent at this point because they don't want to tick off the government and they're afraid that their files will not move through NorthBlock and they'll be punished into not making as much crores of rupees and money as they would have liked to. So right now, everybody's scared. Everybody's silent. India's streets are littered with human rights violations and with attempts to change the secular fabric of this country. But the largest population of people with education and access and communication and platforms have covered those streets with a blanket of silence. So what about the people who are standing up? Deepika Padukone, Kannan Gopinath, Kanhaiya Kumar, Shah Faisal, Shaila Rashid, Swara Bhaskar, Ishan Ayub, Farhan Akhtar. Do they have nothing to protect, nothing to lose? Lakhs and lakhs of students in colleges across the country, have they nothing to lose? They have everything to lose. They have our identity to lose. Our identity as a secular, democratic country. Our Mile Sur Mera Tumhara identity. And that is more than a job, it's more than an income, it's more than safety. Yes, uncle. If you forward becomes permanent, government is reading everything, yes, you must be careful. Correct. Government is reading everything. Is the government reading the Constitution? Are you reading the Constitution, uncle? You know, it's not our Constitution, it's not our country, we don't own it. It's not ours to squander away. We are custodians of it for the next generation. The same family that you are protecting with your silence will one day ask you why you were standing aside when their inheritance was being ripped to shreds. History will ask us for accountability. History will ask you, uncle. And uncle went off to the live pasta section because it was a very cool party. And I turned again to watch the grandmas who were still ramp walking. And as the grandmas were then replaced by youngsters, teenagers who were walking with the optimism that only the very young have, my outside voice was silent. But my inside voice kept going. When history asks us for accountability, this will be the answer. The grown-ups who had jobs and businesses and careers and families and something to protect sat down. The young stood up. The young who had everything to lose and nothing to lose at the same time, the young stood guard for the Constitution through that cold winter night. The young fought and faced the oppressor. The young made sure we were safe. The young made sure that there was a country and a constitution to hand over to the next generation. The young fought. Uncle was with us in spirit. Thank you.
Do you miss being under 25? Me neither. Okay. It's a pleasure to come here and it's a pleasure to perform. It's fantastic to be here. I flew in this morning. You know, as comedians, we have to take a lot of flights for the time being. People say the government isn't doing anything. They're doing some stuff. I don't know if you know, they've made all the airports silent airports now. They don't make any announcements at airports anymore. Yeah. The reason I know that is because they made an announcement to say that there won't be announcements. There's a guy who got on a microphone and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we just want to let you know that this will not be happening. Except for this one, which we will do every 3 minutes." So now, to prevent noise pollution, no announcements. People still have to catch their flights, right? So what they do is, instead of announcements, they'll send the guy from the airlines to personally come and scream in your face. Noise pollution prevented. Before, you know how sometimes they're just looking for one passenger? Because it's a man standing and yelling, it looks like a couple fighting. Someone just standing there, "Mr. Patel! We are leaving! You said you were coming!" Well, don't make promises you can't keep, Mr. Patel. Thank you guys for all staying back to watch this stand-up. It's good time pass, no? To watch comedy.
Okay, I'm heading back home because I'm extremely tired, but the day was amazing, especially one particular speaker called Faye D'Souza. What a woman, what a speaker, what a journalist. I am a huge fan of her after listening to today. Amazing, mind blown, and I have no words to this. But anyways, we will be back here tomorrow for another special episode. See you. Now let's just unpack this and see what this is all about.
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant. I'm here to help. To learn a few things you can do, continue in the Google Home app.
Hey Google, tell me a joke.
What happens when a frog's car breaks? It gets towed.
It's really good, crisp and clear, but I don't, and I still don't know how to use it exactly. Thank you HP for giving us the Google Home Mini for free. Really appreciate it. Bye bye.